Hello everyone, you're watching Cerriscapades. I'm your host, Chuck. A while back, I made a review of the Wuben H3 headlamp. It's this little guy right here. This time, Wuben wanted me to test out their H1, which I think is their flagship headlamp. Now, before we begin, I'd like to make it clear that Wuben sent me this for review, but everything I'll be saying here is my opinion and I am not in any way being forced to say something. With that in mind, and coming from the H3, I think the H1 is pretty amazing. Spoiler alert. Let's go through a quick rundown of the product. It comes in a blue and black box inside a rigid plastic container. There's a cartoon head at the front with a cutout or a window showing the headlamp along with a cartoon forehead. Along the side of the box, we see a mention of the key features such as the 1200 lumens main strobe, a secondary strobe with SOS function at 200 lumens, and a beacon strobe at 100 lumens. Turning around to the back, we see some specs which we will quickly go through in a moment. I just have to say that this packaging is very similar to the H3, only this one is bigger. Now when we open the box, we get to see the manual, which contains useful information, and the H1 lamp, which is already mounted to the strap. Also included in the box are a bunch of accessories such as a USB charging cable, mounting clips for your cap, and spare O-rings. There's an insulation sticker to peel off along the back. So far, I'm really liking the build quality. It feels pretty solid, very heavy duty. I also like having the knurling on both ends. It helps with the grip. It is rated IP68, meaning it can withstand dust, dirt, sand, and being submerged in 1.5 meters of fresh water for up to 30 minutes. That sounds way more harsh than your typical garden setting, but it's really nice to know that it can withstand the elements. It is much bigger than the H3, almost twice in length, but at 102 grams, it surprisingly doesn't feel that much heavier. With it mounted, thanks to the wide straps that wrap around the back and the top of your head, I feel that the weight is well distributed. I can hardly notice the weight of the lamp, unlike the H3 where it's just a single band around the head, which forces you to tighten it a bit to get that grip. When it's loose enough, there's a chance for it to wobble around or drop down to your nose. And if you tighten it too much, it can add some strain to your head, or at least that was my experience while I was using the H3 for quite some time. Speaking of battery, it comes with a single 18650 rechargeable lithium-ion battery. It is 2600 mAh at 3.7 volts, giving you 9.62 watt-hours. It also has a USB-A or a micro USB port for charging, something that you would not find on the H3. This right here is a big plus for the H1 because I have a bunch of 18650s for my gimbal lying around here somewhere, so I can potentially swap them out in case of emergency. But even if I didn't have those batteries, the fact that it can be recharged means it is vastly superior to the H3. The H1 comes mounted to the strap and it is held in place by thick elastic bands. You can rotate it up and down to get the angle that you need, while the H3 only allows you to twist it in steps. It snaps in a few degree increments. As for operating the H1, you're pretty much just working with one button. You get to the various operating modes either via quick presses or longer holds. Clicking the button turns the main light on and off. The intensity can be adjusted by holding down the button while the main light is already on. Doing a double click from the off state activates the strobe patterns, such as the SOS pattern or simply a repeating beacon. Holding down the button while the light is off toggles the auxiliary light patterns. Now onto the night test. I honestly wasn't expecting it to be this bright. At normal distance, the full power mode is simply too overpowering. I think I could get away with one of the lower power modes for regular use. The full power mode looks like it would be useful for camping or hiking. Again, as a home gardener, I don't think I'll likely need that much power, but you know, it's nice to know that I have that. Overall, I think the H1 is a huge step up over the H3. Looking at the Wuben store, the H1 costs about twice as much as the H3. But if you think about it, you're paying around $15 US premium for the better build quality, the rechargeable battery, and the better strap. The battery alone would cost you just under $10 US. I think it is easily worth way more than that. If you think you would like to give the H1 a try, you could get it at 15% off at the Wuben store. Just follow the link down in the description and apply the code CER15, that's CER15, to get your 15% discount. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.